The Labour government has openly revealed that they are gearing up to make some major decisions in the lead-up to the October budget. These decisions, they claim, are necessary to address a supposed £22 billion deficit in the economy. However, several prominent politicians and experts have exposed this deficit as a fabrication, accusing the government of using it as a smokescreen to justify their actions. In this video, we'll unpack these revelations in full detail, while also covering the latest news and developments from across the country. But before we get into all of that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to become a part of our fast-growing community. By doing so, you'll stay informed and up to date on all the important issues happening right now. As we look ahead to the October budget, Chancellor Rachel Reeves faces an uphill battle. According to the Institute for Fiscal Studies, IFS, Reeves might need to raise an additional £25 billion in taxes to support Labour's spending plans. Their latest report, funded by the Nuffield Foundation and based on forecasts from Citi, outlines the significant financial hurdles Reeves must overcome as she prepares her first budget, set to be delivered on October 30th. What complicates matters is Labour's promise not to raise key taxes such as income tax, corporation tax, national insurance, and VAT. However, Paul Johnson, the director of the IFS, warns that her budget could be one of the most consequential since at least 2010. Without making spending cuts and in order to fulfill her pledge to only borrow for investment, Reeves would need to impose a £16 billion tax increase to balance the books by 2028 to 2029. This is on top of the £9 billion already proposed in Labour's manifesto, bringing the total tax hike to a staggering £25 billion. This amount would far exceed the tax increases seen in July 1997 and October 2010, which were around £13 to £14 billion each. Despite these challenges, Labour's commitment not to raise major taxes puts Reeves in a difficult position as she seeks to make the numbers add up without resorting to drastic cuts in public services. The IFS estimates that, to keep up with this year's pay settlements and to avoid cuts to essential services, Reeves will need to find an additional £30 billion for day-to-day spending by 2028 to 2029. Labour has consistently blamed the previous government for leaving them with a £22 billion deficit, but whether this claim holds up remains to be seen. In recent public statements, Reeves has acknowledged that difficult choices lie ahead, but has ruled out a return to austerity. Speculation is rife about how she will raise the necessary funds, with some suggesting reforms to capital gains tax as a possibility. Paul Johnson of the IFS cautions that any reforms to capital gains tax need to be carefully thought out, as simply raising taxes without a broader strategy could backfire. Changes to inheritance tax have also been floated as a potential source of revenue. This comes at a time when public finances are under enormous strain, with taxes already at record highs and public services stretched to the limit. In particular, prisons, the police, and local councils are facing significant pressure. Paul Johnson highlights the difficulties facing the Chancellor, noting that there might be a temptation to borrow even more money, possibly by redefining the government's fiscal rules to allow for higher levels of debt. But this too comes with risks, especially given the UK's existing budget deficit and current account deficit. In other news, there's a shocking scandal coming out of Sussex. A police officer who failed to respond to an emergency 999 call because he was allegedly having sex with his ex-girlfriend has resigned. PC Stephen Austin reportedly visited the woman's home in the middle of the day, despite being on duty at the time. While the two were engaged, Austin received a Grade 1 emergency call regarding a violent altercation that had erupted following an attempted robbery. The shop owner, who had been repeatedly punched during the robbery, was in pursuit of the suspect, and the situation demanded an immediate police response, as there was a risk to life. Shockingly, PC Austin ignored 4 separate calls from his colleagues trying to reach him on the radio. During a tribunal in March, it was revealed that instead of responding to the emergency, Austin spent around 90 minutes at the woman's house before resuming his shift. The woman later messaged a friend, admitting that Austin had missed a call while they were in the middle of their encounter. Her friend's response? "That's a job loser. Tell work." This revelation sparked an internal investigation by Sussex police. The pair had previously been in a long-term relationship and share a child, but they had separated before the incident, which took place on November 23, 2021. Austin allegedly invited himself over to the woman's house around 1:30 p.m. that day. Doorbell footage and phone mapping place Austin at the scene, although he maintains that he was only there for 13 minutes. At the tribunal, Austin denied all the allegations against him. Nevertheless, he has now resigned from the Sussex police, effectively bringing an end to the investigation. Despite the seriousness of the accusations, Austin will face no further legal action and will still be able to keep his police pension. In yet another story making headlines, Princess Kate made her first public appearance following the completion of her chemotherapy treatment. The Prince and Princess of Wales stepped out in Southport to meet with the families of those affected by a recent stabbing tragedy. This marked Kate's return to public life, and her body language during the visit has been the subject of much discussion. Judy James, a body language expert, has analyzed Kate's appearance and noted signs of inner tension during the engagement. Judy observed that while Kate began the visit in a quiet, listening mode, she eventually became more animated as the day went on. James highlighted several key body language cues, including Kate's tendency to raise her hands in a cupping motion, which indicated the strength of her emotional response to the conversations she was having. At the same time, the royal couple's close bond was evident throughout the visit. Judy pointed out the intense mirroring between Kate and William, a trademark of their relationship. They were often seen standing or sitting in identical postures, their heads tilted at the same angle, and their hands clasped in the same way. There were also moments of lightness, with Kate flashing her signature smile when a member of the group made them laugh. James noted that it was the same wide, genuine smile that we've seen from Kate for years, a reassuring sign that she is returning to her usual self despite the challenges of recent months. However, there were also subtle signs of stress. James mentioned that upon her arrival, Kate was seen tightly clutching her bag in front of her torso, a gesture that may have indicated nervousness. Similarly, when she sat down, she clasped her wrist with her other hand in a very tight grip, another possible sign of tension. But as the visit progressed, Kate visibly relaxed, especially during her conversations with emergency responders. The emotional significance of this visit cannot be overstated. Kate and William traveled to Southport to offer their support to the families of the 3 young girls who lost their lives in the knife attack that shocked the community earlier this year. Kate's presence at the event, just after completing her chemotherapy, was a powerful reminder of her resilience and dedication to her role. Thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.